If I was stranded on an island and someone asked me what would be that one dish that you would have, my answer would certainly be a bowl of pho. So first, I parboil the bones. I like to use beef neck bones along with bone marrow and make sure to keep the marrow intact. Charbroiling your onions and your ginger is essential to give your broth a nice smoky flavor to it. Add kosher salt, mushroom powder, leeks, and rock sugar. The key to a successful pho broth is to make sure that the broth is as clear as possible. I like to use brisket with my pho, so when it's done cooking, I remove it from the broth and I immerse it in an ice cold water bath so that the meat doesn't darken. I like to eat vegetables with everything, including my pho, so I add daikon and carrots to my pho broth as it gives it a nice sweet flavor. And I try to use as organic as possible. In this case, these carrots are grown from my garden. Cut both the carrots and the daikon into 2-inch pieces. After letting the broth simmer for 3 hours, I then prepare my spices. You want to make sure to lightly toast the spices and do not burn them. If you do burn them, then make sure to start with a new batch of spices. That way your broth does not taste bitter. Add a bag of pho tea bag, which I use pho hua. Put it in a tea strainer and then add it to your broth that you have removed all the bones from. And let this simmer for another hour. That way your vegetables have time to cook and it allows your spices to infuse with the broth. I put my brisket in the fridge to cool it and have it nice and cold, so then it's easier for me to slice it thin. If I were to slice it when it's warm, it will crumble apart. I love having my pho with beef meatballs and dipping it in a hoisin sauce along with all the accoutrements such as slices of onions and cilantro and green onions, bean sprouts, basil, some jalapenos, and a squeeze of lime. And there you go, a bowl of heaven.